and welcome to your yoga practice today. My name is Helena and I'm going to be taking you through a short yoga flow focusing on the hamstrings and the back of the body. So just making sure you've got everything you need to get started and then coming onto your mat into this kneeling position and we'll get going. So closing the eyes down, taking one hand onto the heart, the other onto the belly. Take those magical 3 releasing breaths. So inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Again, inhale. Exhale. Last time, big breath in. Big breath out. All the way to the bottom. Release the hands, place the hands down on the floor, the hands coming under the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips. And we'll just begin with some cat-cow. So we inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the belly, press the floor away, gaze up. And exhaling, tucking the tailbone, drawing the belly button in and up, the chin in towards the throat, the chest as we press the floor away. And then inhaling. Cow, lift the bottom, drop the belly, lengthen the neck, look up. Exhale, tuck tailbone, roll through the spine, bone by bone, cat. One more time, inhaling, lifting, lengthening, gazing up, shoulders away from the ears. Exhaling, tucking, scooping, pressing the floor away. Coming back, tabletop. I'm going to take this left leg out to the side, so it's still in line with the hip. The toes can face forward or out to the side ever so slightly, and into gate pose. We're going to lift the left arm up towards the ceiling, so feel that stretch through the front of the body. We're going to exhale, take the left hand through the holes as if we're threading the needle, keeping the hips nice and high and bending this right elbow and seeing if we can get the side of the head to the floor. Don't worry if you can't, it may just be slightly floating off the mat. We're seeing if we can lengthen this left arm as far away from us as possible. So we're reaching, stretching that thoracic spine in between of the shoulders. And then we inhale, bring that left arm back up towards the ceiling, big stretch. Exhale, the hand comes down onto the floor in front of us. We bring this right heel in front of the pelvis, in front of the body, to sit down onto the bottom. So this kind of half butterfly stretch here. The right leg is bent in towards the left. The left foot is flexed. We're going to turn to face the left leg and then fold forward over the left hamstring. So you may need to bend the knee, maybe sit on some blocks to create a little bit more space in the hips. We're seeing if we can get that body nice and square towards the left leg. So don't worry if you're a bit skew-iff on your mat. Focus more about the body's positioning rather than your positioning on the mat. And we'll take our 5 breaths here. So normally I ask to keep the spine nice and long, but here, because we're taking a little bit more of a yin approach on this posture, you can curve the spine. So you can really let go. Maybe finding a sense of grounding through the back of the body, the lower body. As you open through the upper body, so feel that stretch in the lower back. Maybe through the QL muscles, those big muscles either side of the spine, the elbows, arms heavy. 2 more breaths. Dropping a little further. And slowly rolling up. Taking this right hand next to you, right on the floor. The left arm reaches up towards the ceiling, reaching away from the leg. You have an option just to stay here, finding that nice stretch through the side of the body, or you can come onto the right knee, lift the hips, drop the head back, squeeze the bottom, a wild thing variation. So there are 5 breaths here. Inhaling either through the nose and out through the nose with that ujjayi breath, or you can exhale out of the mouth. Ujjayi is that snoring sound at the back of the throat, the warming breath. Just doing whatever feels good for you. 2 more. Opening the hips, engaging the hamstrings. And then slowly we're going to swoop the hands forward wherever you are, coming back onto the hands and knees. Back into tabletop. We'll do 2 cat-cows, so we'll inhale. Lift the bottom of the chest, look up. Exhale, tuck, curve around the spine. Inhale, lift, lengthen, ripple, press the floor away. Exhale, curve, C-curve, press the floor, chin to chest. Good. Release back to tabletop this time, and the right leg comes out to the side. Either toes going forward or slightly on a diagonal. The right arm, bow and arrow, reaches, stretches up towards the ceiling, look towards the thumb. A moment here as we squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhale. Exhale, the right hand now threads through the whole of the left arm, the left leg. Maybe the side of the face finds the floor. Maybe it floats off. One side may be different to the other. Know that that's okay. It makes us human. See if you can reach that right arm as far away from you as you can. Relaxing the head. 1 more breath. Good. I'm threading that left hand, placing it on the floor. The left heel comes in front of the pelvis and we can sit down onto the bottom. The right leg out to the side, half butterfly on the other side. Left leg is bent. Flex the foot, lift the chest, and then fold over the right leg. You may wish to slightly soften the knee or maybe sit on something to raise the hips up. But notice here that we're not holding the foot and grabbing and pulling and pushing. We've just got the hands rested somewhere comfortable. And we're allowing the weight of the body and gravity to do the work for us. So only going as far as the body wants to go today. We do enough of pushing and forcing our bodies in our workouts, in our day-to-day lives. So as we roll out the mat for yoga, we find the art of listening to the body. Doing what feels right now. Seeing if we can tune into that inner wisdom, that intuition. And honouring our bodies. 1 more breath. Slowly rolling up. Option to just take the left hand into the floor next to you. The right arm reaches up and away from the leg, which is nice and juicy. Or you can come onto the left knee, squeeze the bottom, release the head. And just take it a little deeper into the hips, the side of the body, release the head. 3 breaths here, inhale. Exhale, squeeze the bottom. Lift through the pelvic floor, 2 more. Closing the right knee back into the left, coming onto the hands and knees, having a little wiggle from side to side, maybe saying no with the head, saying yes with the head, and then stepping the left foot in between the hands, and then we reach the arms up into a nice short low lunge. So you see a lot of yoga pictures of people pretty much in half splits here, so the leg is really far. That's getting into the quad, yes, a little bit, but it's mainly overstretching the ligaments as opposed to stretching the muscles. So we want to keep it nice and short. Squeeze the bottom, lengthen up, try and tuck the pelvis under ever so slightly, and then lead forward with the pubic bone rather than dropping with the hips. So you have that slight resistance, a slight muscle engagement, but also that big stretch to the front of the right hip. If it's too much to have the hands in the air, you can be doing some arm workouts recently, and then the hands can be on the hips. I don't know how that feels. But see wherever you are, if you can lift the chest, lengthen through the lower back. We'll take one more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Place the hands down either side of the foot. If that's too much, you may need 2 books or blocks either side. And then we're just going to slowly lengthen this left leg. So you may find it easier to maybe come down onto the heel, this half split variation. Or you may want to keep the hips nice and high, taking the tailbone up towards the ceiling as we soften down over the left leg. 3 breaths wherever you are. Releasing the head. Inhaling. And exhaling. Feeling that stretch from the hamstring all the way down to above the knee. If you are feeling it behind the knee, just soften, bend the leg a little bit more. Just really looking after those ligaments around the knee and trying not to overstretch them. So hopefully feeling it in the belly of the hamstring rather than the top or the bottom. One more breath. Full up. And then bending the knee. Sole of the foot finds the floor, tuck under the back toes. Lift the back knee, option to bring the hands onto the thigh, or you can just swoop them up as we come into high lunge, but then bring the heel down for warrior 1. So we've got that 45-ish degrees, doesn't have to be exact, but here we're trying to see if we can get the chest, the hips forward, the lower back lengthened still, and the arms nice and long. So warrior pose, it is in the name. You should feel like you can move easily from one foot to the other. A lot of the time, again, like a lunge, you see a lot of warriors really low, really long. It looks beautiful, but it's not very practical when it comes to actual battle, which is what warrior pose is from. So imagining you can lunge forward into battle, shoulders forward, chest forward. Inhale, look up. Exhale, swoop the hands behind you. Interlace the fingers, lift the chest, squeeze the heels of the hands, the shoulders. Look up. And then exhale, fold forward. As the left shoulder comes to the inside of the left knee, then release the head to look at the right heel. So humble warrior. Stretching the left hamstring, also the back of the body and the chest, because why not? Head's heavy, one more breath. Exhale. Lift the chest, release the hands, place them down onto the floor as you come onto the ball of the back foot. Stepping that left foot back to plank. And then we're going to take a nice inhale at the top. Then exhale, lower for 5, so the elbows bend. 4, 3, squeeze the bottom, lower the knees if you need to. 2, 1, all the way down to the floor, untuck the toes. Elbows snap in, lift the chest, no weight through the heels of the hands. Lifting the body. And then exhale, press back. Child's pose, release the forehead. 3 releasing breaths here. Letting everything go. 1 more. Good, coming back to tabletop. Stepping the right foot between the hands, so we'll do everything on the other side. Making sure you haven't stepped the foot too far forward. The knee is underneath the hip. The right heel is underneath the right knee. And then we swoop the arms up. So that slight scoop under of the pelvis. The arms reach, the bottom squeezes. This may be a little sensitive on the knee. If it is, then you can pop a blanket or fold the mat up. Relax the shoulders, lift the heart. 2 more breaths. See if you can lead with the pubic bone, the groin. And then slowly placing the hands down either side of the foot, lengthen the right leg. So this leg for me is a little bit less flexible because I unfortunately tore my hamstring once upon a time. You may also be harbouring some old injuries that come up in a little bit of unbalance in the body. But again, know that that's okay. You don't push them past their boundaries. Listen to them. Then we modify, so maybe bending the right knee a little bit more. You can relax other parts of the body and relax the head. 3 more breaths. Keeping the hips square, the knees square. And very slowly moving your way back to lunge, but this time we tuck under the back toes. We lift the knee, the hands either come onto the thigh or you swoop them straight up to the ceiling. Left heel finds the floor, warrior 1. So again, checking that you're not too far apart, that you're not nearly in splits. The feet can be as wide or on a tightrope if you prefer. Just finding somewhere that's comfortable for you. You can really get this depth in the right leg. Lift the chest, look up, inhale. Exhale, bring the hands behind, interlacing the fingers, squeezing the heels of the hands, looking up, inhale. Exhaling, leading with the chest as we bow down, humble warrior. Gaze to the back knee or the back ankle and see if you can squeeze the heels of the hands together. So imagining the hands are a nutcracker, you've got a little walnut in the palms of the hands. You're trying to squeeze it with the heels of the hands. 1 more breath, try and touch the ceiling with the knuckles. Inhale to look forward, release the hands, place them on the floor. Stack the right leg back, inhale here. This time for 6, we go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all the way down, untuck the toes. Press the floor away a little higher this time, squeeze the bottom. Back, child's pose. Toes together, but this time we'll walk the hands over to the left, relaxing the head, the bottom into the heels. Stretch from the lower body all the way through the side of the body, the baby finger, just slowing the breath down. Walking the hands over to the side, so creating that nice big rainbow, semicircle, over to the right, and then leaning to the left. So maybe imagining that the hands have been super glued to the floor, the knees have been super glued to the floor, but we're trying to get away from them both. So we're trying to reach the rest of the body away from the hands, but we can't because they're stuck. Feel that stretch through the rib cage, the intercostal muscles. And the lower back. 1 more breath. Good. Walk the hands in through center, back ever so slightly so we can swing the legs to the side, and then out in front of us into staff pose, so flexing the feet. Again, you may wish to sit on a pillow to lift the hips a little bit higher, maybe bend the knees, but here we're going to reach forward with the hands, take a big breath in. Exhale, reach forward past the feet. Exhale, fold forward. So again, we can curve the spine here because we're focusing on stretching the hamstrings and the back of the body. And the legs can be as wide as you need them to be. But again, notice I'm not holding onto my feet and pulling. The hands are just rested softly. If you do find that too tempting, then you can bring the backs of the hands into the floor, really surrender, palms up. Relax the face, cheeks, the tongue and the jaw. And with every exhale, you get a little bit deeper into the stretch. And take 2 more breaths. Stretch through the hamstring, the lower back, maybe into the upper back. And very slowly rolling up. Lift the chest. We will just do a little counter pose there, fish. So you're going to bring the hands face down into the floor. You're going to sit on the hands, so on the backs of the hands. Point the toes, and then very slowly using the core muscles, bring the elbows down onto the floor, press the elbows away, Lift the chest as if there's a fish hook underneath the sternum, the heart, the breastbone, and then release the head back. So stretching, opening the throat, thyroid. You've been doing lots of forward folding, so it's just nice to open the heart, just the balance is off. Good. Slowly lowering the head. Moving the elbows, the hands. Bring the knees into the chest. Give them a nice little hug. A little swing from side to side and rock. Take the knees wide, happy baby. Taking the outside arches of the feet, soles of the feet shine up. A little rock, a little roll. If you're feeling nice and loose in the hamstrings, maybe lengthen one leg. Still, so you can keep that gentle rock and roll. Changing to the side, lengthening the other side. Or maybe you're feeling super flexible and you can lengthen both legs into that straddle happy baby. So we'll just take 3 breaths wherever you are. And then when you've had enough of rocking, release the feet, bring the knees together. Arms come out into aeroplane wings, take a nice big inhale. Exhale, both knees fall to the left. Turn the head to the right. Just spending a few moments here in the spinal twist. Just releasing the spine, the vertebrae. After all those forward folds. And then just bringing one knee and then the other back through centre and allowing them to fall over to the other side. Turning the head away. See if you can get the tip of the ear to touch the floor. 3 breaths here. And then after the third and final breath, bring the knees back through centre. Give them a nice little hug. And then coming into your Shavasana. So that may be the feet nice and wide, the knees fall in, maybe the legs long, or maybe you just lie on the side. But take the arms alongside you, palms open if you can. Close the eyes. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose. And let it go out to the mouth. Just sinking, melting, surrendering into the earth, into the mat. Feel the body go heavy. Maybe you can follow the breath, the inhale, and the exhale, the rise and the fall, the in and the out. You can stay here as long as you wish. In fact, I encourage you to stay here a little bit longer. If you're ready to move, take a deep inhale, deep exhale, and then slowly roll onto the side of the body. Pressing yourself up into a comfortable seated position, maybe keeping the eyes closed. So you're not distracted by my crazy dog in the background. Sitting tall through the crown of the head, bringing the hands to prayer in front of the heart. Take a nice deep inhale here. And exhale out the mouth. Opening the eyes. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me. Apologies about that little distraction at the end. This is Pablo, by the way, who has all day been out with the dog walker and decided to come back and actually trash the sofa. So very much, and see you again soon.